Once you have a web page built, sometimes you need to search for content in order to easily make alterations. And oftentimes, like in this example where we have a page that's got quite a bit of text and the code, there's a fair amount there as well. It can be a little bit daunting to read line for line. So in your college career or even prior, you've probably experienced the find and replace tool in a word processing program like MS Word. So just like those programs, Dreamweaver can search and replace text in the body of your web pages, but it offers a richer set of options too, geared specifically towards web page creation. So as an example, you can search and replace specific HTML tags or specific selector types if you have an extensive list of content that you need to go through. So to start a search, you want to at least have design mode open. So you want to make sure that either design or live is visible. Then you can press Command on a Mac or Control on a PC and the letter F on your keyboard. Another way that you can get to it is come up here to Find and just specify Find and Replace right there. And that opens up this nice little window that pops up right up at the top, and you can specify, I'll click source code in this case, and you can specify specifically what it is that you're looking for. You'll notice upon reading the chapter that the find and replace options have dramatically altered since the previous version of Dreamweaver. As you've probably noticed upon going through the textbook thus far, Dreamweaver had some fairly radical alterations. So the first chunk of chapter 8, it's really only relevant up until about page 381, and once it gets into creating advanced text searches, the software has been streamlined a lot more since that point in time. So just keep that in mind if you are relying upon the text imagery to get you through. They've kind of taken the advanced and the basic and kind of grouped it all into a single unit here. So where within the text on my page I want to search, I can start by highlighting a range of text that I want it to search, or I can have it search just in my current document, other open documents, folders, or even the entire website itself. So as an example, I'll go ahead and highlight some text, and I will type in the word bacon. The whole page is about bacon. The word bacon's bound to pop up here and there. So in the current document, I'll go ahead and click Find All. So in the search panel down here at the bottom, it's going to give me every single instance where the word bacon pops up in my current document. And you can filter how you want to search for that because it's popping up in a lot of places. It's finding it in the header, it's finding it in the welcome about bacon, and it's going to find it elsewhere on the whole web page. So if I want to filter that further, there's a filter option here. I can have it match case, use regular expressions. So if there are any, like right in here where you can see that there was a comment made, it's going to pay attention to that. Match the whole word, ignore white spaces between words, search text only. So I'll go ahead and turn that on. We'll check the whole current website, and that list will get even longer. So it's found it 38 items in 5 separate documents. You can specify a folder as well by telling it to look within a particular folder. So perhaps I don't necessarily want it to look at my entire website, but maybe only in my images. That can let me narrow that down specifically. And selected text is right here, so if I only want it to look in this range, that narrows the scope quite a bit, as opposed to dealing with my entire web page or every page built for this site to begin with. If I want to look for the code specifically, as opposed to looking for wherever it pops up visually by turning off search text only. That gives me the opportunity to search not only the visuals and design, but also whatever's popping up in the p tag. So that will specify specifically where it is appearing in the area that I highlighted. So I had highlighted just a couple paragraphs, not a lot, and I searched for the p tag and then told it to find all in the selected text, so it's looking in this area, but by turning that button off, that prevents it from looking just here in the visual and lets you search the back end as well. And when I click find all, it gives me a breakdown of each p tag that is used here. So there's one, this is the layout for the p tag, and then there was this one beneath it. And I typed in only the opening p tag, so it was only finding the beginning options, but it still seeks out that content. So item 1, whenever you're doing a search, set the scope of your search. Figure out specifically what it is that you're looking for, be it a selector name that you've produced, be it a particular tag, or just a specific word. And then you want to set up how you want to look for it. In a selection, in the document, filter it further. And then at that point, once you find your content, perhaps you want to replace it. Let's say, as an example, I want to replace my p tags with the h3 tag. I can click, okay, so we've got selected text. I'll hit to replace all. Now you'll notice it didn't quite appear the way I wanted it to. Part of the reason for that, if you look at your h3 here, it still has a closing p tag. So I would want to replace all of my closing p tags with closing h3 tags. And we would want to highlight that a second time to make sure that it's matching. There we go. It was these three. Replace all, replace all. And you can see now those three, looks like because I pressed it twice. There we go. Yeah, it looks like because I had selected it twice, it kept kind of going through the document. There we are. So it is looking to replace all those p tags with the h3, so having that selection made is going to be helpful to make sure that we don't overdo it. So again, replace all only needs to be clicked once, and then I was able to click in here just to see and witness that change. Now if I set it up rather than working off of a selection, but have it set up to be current documents or in a folder, you'll notice some of these options pop up a little different. So this will actually allow you to, and it'll highlight it for you, see how many of these are kind of bunched up inside of that document, and clicking with these arrows will jump you from one to the next so you can kind of assess each one individually. So you do have the ability to find, and up here as well, find the next, find the previous. There's an option to find all and select them. So you can deal with each of these tags one by one. I know I've replaced and selected them all at once earlier, but that in part comes down to the fact that I had selected a narrow scope for it to look for. So depending on which of these settings you use, they might alter the way that the searching can be done, but it's still relatively straightforward. You can replace a single tag or all of the tags if you choose to do so. Find and replace seems like a simple tool, but it will dramatically help you when you're looking for a problem area specifically, even if you just don't feel like reading deeply to try and find a class name or a tag that perhaps you only used a single time. So it can really help you out when you're searching for something specific.